Hi guys, I'm Brooke Christina. Today I'm going to be doing a much more personal video than I've ever done on my channel, and I've finally just been okay with telling my story. For years, I never really told anybody. I was always scared of telling people because I was scared what they would think. But at the end of the day, it's something that has impacted my life tremendously, and if I can share my story to help other people out there, then it'll make me feel like $1,000,000, and I'll just be forever thankful that I could help someone. Because I know when I was going through this stuff, I didn't have anybody, and I had to go through it alone. As much as it was nice talking about it to people, no one really understood what I was kind of going through because they hadn't been in my shoes before. But today's story is about me being an epileptic. Before I get started, I just want to say something that I might get emotional in this video. I'm not asking for pity. I'm not asking you to feel bad for me. It's something I've gone through, it's something I've dealt with for so many years. I'm here to share my story. I'm making the choice to put my story on the internet, and I'm not asking you to feel bad for me. And if you do, that's okay, but I don't want you to go down in the comments and be like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. I want this video to uplift people. I want this video to make people feel strong. And there are gonna be some ignorant people, and I'm telling you right now, if this is gonna trigger you and make you go off about whatever it may be, or if you feel the need to call me stupid, or you feel the need to judge me or my opinion or just people that have seizures, I'm asking you right now to click out of this video because I don't want to see that. I will block you. It's not needed. Us people with epilepsy go through enough, and we don't need your snarky little immature comments. So I'm gonna ask you politely to please just click out. This isn't the video for you. For those of you that don't know what epilepsy means, it means you have seizures, and seizures are the scariest thing because you never know when they're going to happen and you can't control them, and it sucks. So my story starts all the way back in the first grade. I tried balancing on a basketball because I was a stupid first grader, and I ended up falling. I fell on the blacktop or the pavement, whatever you guys call it, and it was the type of pavement that had the rocks stuck in the pavement. I fell, one of those rocks pretty much stabbed my head, and I had a hole in my head where I could stick about that much on my finger. I know it was from the first line here to the tip, but keep in mind I was a first grader, so my hands were a lot smaller, so it probably wasn't as terrible as you thought it could be, but it was still super bad. I had to get staples in my head. Honestly, nothing really happened to me in a sense of side effects. Fast forward all the way to the 5th grade, I started acting weird. I wasn't Brooke anymore. There would be times where I would space out, but I would have no idea what's going on. And I remember one time specifically I went to the bathroom and I never came back, which obviously is very unlike me. I was a very good student. I always liked school. I had no problems with anyone at that specific time, but my teacher was a little concerned and sent another student down to the bathroom to see if I was okay, and I was just standing there in the middle of the bathroom, and she told me to come back to the class, and I said okay, and I didn't. So that's when my teacher knew something was up and contacted my parents, and then my parents obviously were alarmed because they love me and they don't want anything bad to happen with their child. So we ended up going to the doctor, and the doctor referred us to a neurologist who's a brain doctor. And we went there, and that is when I got diagnosed with epilepsy. Now, it all first started out as petit mal seizures. It's kind of like you're sleepwalking. From the outside, I look okay, I look tired, I kind of look like I'm sleepwalking, but from the inside, my brain is shut off. I couldn't tell you your name, I couldn't tell you who I was, I didn't know anything. And as the years went on, I got bullied for being an epileptic, which means I got bullied for something that I couldn't even control, which is disgusting. And the reason I got bullied was because I had something that nobody else does. And it made me an outcast, and it made me different, and it really sucked. And for all these years, I let epilepsy define me as a person. I didn't think I was normal. I thought something was effed up with me. I thought I was different. And I took it as a very negative thing, and I really beat myself up for it. And I remember there was so many times where I just wished that I had never fallen on the blacktop so I could just be normal like everybody else and not be judged, and could just live a happy life as a 5th grader, 6th grader, whatever grade it was. And the crappy part is nobody understood. And they kind of took it as a joke, because at the time we were immature little brats. They teased me for it, and they would lock me in a classroom and flicker the lights to see if I was being real about it or not. And they traumatized me. And I would always catch people making stupid little jokes about seizures and how you flop on the ground like a fish. It really hurt me a lot. And it sucked because I didn't know anybody else that had gone through this stuff, and I felt so alone. Even though people were there to support me, like my family and the small little friends I had, they had no idea what went through my head. They had no idea what emotions I felt, because they weren't living it, and as much as they tried to help, nothing could really help. So it was a constant struggle every single day. And I was really sad about it for a long time. Fast forward to the 8th grade is when things really took a turn. I had my first grand mal seizure, which when you think of seizures, you think of flopping on the ground, foaming at the mouth, getting really tense, you can't touch the person. That's what I developed. That's what I now became diagnosed with. And this was honestly the hardest time of my life. This is when Brooke would just shut down, when I would end up in the hospital, when it would take me about a week and a half to recover. I couldn't go to school, I couldn't really leave my house. And it sucked because not only was it affecting my mental happiness, but it was affecting my body in a sense of my muscles were so tense that it physically hurt to move. And I remember one specific time where I woke up in the hospital. I think this was like the 2nd grand mal seizure I had in a row. And I woke up, I was all connected with needles, and there were bruises all over my body, and I was dizzy, and I felt lightheaded, and I had no idea what just happened to me. But the second I woke up and saw that I was in the hospital and saw my parents crying, I knew exactly what just happened to me. And I think in that very moment I realized that it's not just affecting me, it's affecting the people around me. I was just done. I wanted to change it. I didn't want to have this thing anymore, because I care about the loved ones in my life so much, and to see that they're upset because of something that I can't control sucks. And I wish I could control it so they could just be happy and I could be happy, but I couldn't. And in that moment when I saw I was hooked up, I tried fighting it. I started screaming, I started freaking out. I wanted the needles out of my body. I didn't want to be in a hospital anymore, and I just wanted to be okay. And oh my God. And I remember my mom looking at me, and she told me to stop because I was only hurting myself. And she told me that I've been through enough pain for one day, and that I just need to let my body rest. And it sucked because it was something that I was letting define me, and I couldn't find peace with it. I wasn't okay with it. And there was a long period of time where I just shut it out. I want to numb this. I don't want to feel shitty anymore. And I remember thinking for the rest of my life that it was just something I'm gonna have to deal with. And at the time, it felt like my world was ending, and it felt like it was me against the world. And I didn't really know what to do. And as I entered high school, I still had seizures, and I never thought it was going to stop. And then I realized how serious seizures are when I was ready to get my license. In Canada, you're allowed to go for your G1 testing when you're 16, and I couldn't. And here's all my friends getting their G1, and my birthday rolls around and I'm 16, and what do you do on your 16th birthday? You go write this test, but I couldn't, and it wasn't my choice. It's a law that if you're an epileptic, you can't really drive. But because I hadn't had a seizure for so long, they wanted to wait for a year until I could at least try. So within that 1 year span, if I had a seizure, I had to wait another year. And thankfully, I didn't have a seizure within that 1 year. So when I was 17, I was able to write my G1. And I got it, and I got my license. And driving is my favorite thing in the world. I don't know why, it's soothing to me and it makes me happy. But it's also kind of scary because even though I haven't had seizures in 8 years, I still could, and one of my favorite things could be taken away from me. But that's just me overthinking, and that's something I can't do because I don't want seizures to define me anymore. And they don't, because I technically don't have them, but at the same time they could come back, so. But even still through high school, I would have kids judge me because they knew I used to be epileptic, and I was taking precautions for myself because even though I'm defined as being cleared from seizures and I don't wear a medical bracelet anymore, they could still be triggered at any time, and I need to take precautions for myself because that is something I don't want to happen ever again. So again, they would make stupid comments, which honestly still bother me to this day because in my opinion, seizures are something that you either have or you know someone that have. They're very common nowadays, and I think it's disgusting that people still feel the need to make stupid little snarky comments about epilepsy, and they don't get it. They just think it's funny, and they just think that, you know, they're being the class clown, and they're not. You're not. It's not funny. It's hard to go through. If you went through it personally and you felt the struggle that us epileptics feel every single day, then you would understand how hard it is to battle yourself every day and to battle the people around you. So even still to this day, if I'm around people and they make a seizure joke, I look at them and I'm like, excuse me? I try not to take it personally because I know they're not saying it towards me, but at the same time, just the context, it's immature to say, and I don't see the point in even saying it like that because it's something that's serious and it's something that really does affect people, and in fact it kills people. But there are still those people that would be in the same class as me and flicker the lights and think they're hilarious, and I'd be sitting there with my eyes just covered, praying that they would stop. I couldn't really fend for myself. I'm in a class of 25 students or so, and there's me. But I'm extremely thankful that I haven't had one for almost 8 years. In November, it's my anniversary, and every single year, that's the one day I look forward to because it's a real accomplishment for me to go another year without having one. Because I know the times that when I was having them and when I was going through was really tough. And I'm so thankful that I'm strong enough now to almost fight them and not go through that anymore. So, my message here is, if you're an epileptic, I want you to know that you are so brave and you are so strong and you're not different. You're unique and beautiful, but you can get through it, and you will get through it. And I'm here to help you every step of the way. I don't want you to suffer in silence because that is something that I did. It was something that was extremely hard because I felt like nobody understood, and truly nobody really did. But I want you to know that I understand and I've gone through it. And maybe your situation's worse than mine. Maybe it's not as bad as mine, but at the end of the day, you're human and you need to find happiness in yourself, and I don't want you to let this define you. It feels kind of cool that I can do stuff like this and tell you guys things I've been through in my life. This is something I definitely want to include a lot more on my channel, not super frequently just because I feel like they're kind of personal and I don't want my channel to be super emotional and stuff, and I do apologize for getting emotional. It's just when I talk about my parents, I'm like, oh my god. But at the end of the day, I just want my channel to continue to be fun and make you guys happy, and that's all I've ever wanted. And I really hope that this video brought at least one person happiness. Feel free to DM me on either Instagram or Twitter, or even Snapchat. I'll leave all my social media links down below. They're always down below, and I get back to everybody. So I think that's pretty much it. I really do love you guys, and I hope you can love me and all my imperfections. I Yeah, and I just want you guys to know that you're so beautiful and so loved and unique and incredible. And I'm just being super sappy now. But honestly, I hope you guys realize that you're not different in a negative way. You're different in a good way, and you're unique, and there's only one of you. So that is it for me. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.